President Obama using his star power, making the rounds in New York, appearing on The Late Show with David Letterman earlier this week, then meeting with Jay-Z and Beyonce at an exclusive New York City fundraiser. Now the President and First Lady are on deck to join the ladies of The View early next week. Meanwhile, chaos in the Middle East continues to unfold. Question, should the President be doing this many light interviews while the country is in crisis? Joining us now to weigh in is Lee Spieckerman, owner of SpieckermanMedia. Good to see you this morning, Lee.
Good morning, Dave.
This is a different media environment. Should the President be doing this many talk show type interviews with so many serious things happening around the world?
Dave, I don't think anybody would fault the President for using those platforms for communication if he were more serious about the job in general. And what I mean by that is I look at this from the perspective of a business person outside Washington. Here we have people getting killed, beloved ambassador killed in the Middle East, apparently a failure to secure embassies on 9/11 of all dates within countries that had just had upheavals in their governments. We have a jobs crisis, and yet the President has only had one meeting with his so-called jobs council. So when you look in from the outside, you say, where has the President been? He appears to have been disengaged, and yet he has time for over 200 fundraisers with fat cats, over 100 rounds of golf, both of those shattering all presidential records, countless soirees with sports superstars, and then, as you mentioned, all of these appearances. And again, if he were using these appearances to convey strong policies, and if he appeared to have not be so disengaged, frankly, from very serious matters of foreign policy, getting us off of foreign oil, which is fueling a lot of this tumult in the Middle East and funding the terrorists, again, I don't think the American people would have a problem with him appearing on The View or appearing with Jay-Z and Beyonce or on Letterman.
Yeah, I think in this media environment, it's not that people sit there and just watch the nightly news. I think you have to do shows like The View. You have to go on the sports talk radio shows, do everything you can. But I was stunned to find out the percentage of national intelligence briefings that the President is attending in 2012, just 38%. How typical is that? Does that speak to the greater problem you're addressing here?
Well, it appears that the President is savoring the fun stuff about the office, but unfortunately he appears to be shirking a lot of the responsibilities of the office. And I don't think that's a story that's been told. It's just now that this pattern's emerging, with Bob Woodward's book, with an in-depth and pretty devastating piece about how the White House works in the New York Times, Mark Thiessen uncovering the fact that you just mentioned about the President missing well over half of his daily national security briefings. So the American people look at our disastrous economy, the world in upheaval, and now I think they're beginning to see it isn't just bad policy ideas. It's a President who, unfortunately, instead of being diligent, appears to be a dilettante much of the time. He's a terrific speaker. He comports himself as a very serious man, but not in the conduct of the office many times.
Of course, with the money out there, you have to spend a great deal of your time as a president raising money. That's just fundamental to what's happening right now. So a lot of problems there. Lee Spieckerman, we appreciate you joining us from Dallas this morning. Thank you.
You're welcome.